What is up, everyone? Stonepost 34 bringing you more of Growing Up with Stonepost. I promise you we'd do it this week, and we're going to do it. But first, I want to remind you guys, if you have a video response, put it in the comment section. I'll accept it. Try to get your videos some views. And then also follow me on Twitter. You can follow me there. You'll get my latest video updates. Know when I'm getting on PlayStation 3 or the Xbox, because I do play with subs quite a bit. So follow me on Twitter if you can. If you can't, I understand that too. So anyway, hey, Growing Up with Stonepost, we're going to talk about, it's kind of serious, but a couple incidences I had with drunk drivers. So this is not a lecture series. This is just some stuff that has happened. So when I was in high school, my brother and I attended a youth group, and it was in another town, so we had to drive all the time. And the family truckster was a Chevrolet Capri station wagon. That's right, that thing was the bomb nizzle. Everyone loved it. I have to say I was very successful in my dating career because of it, and there's a picture of it. So we drove this thing. I mean, this thing, it was a tank. It was unbelievable how much this thing weighed. I bet it probably weighs more than most light-duty trucks do. But that was the family truckster, the grocery getter, so to speak. So anyway, my brother and I were headed to youth group, and we lived in Naperville, and we were headed to Wheaton, which is next door. You know, the suburbs kind of all run together. You couldn't tell one town from the other. So we were headed there. It was about 8 o'clock at night, and we were going down this hill. And we look at the bottom of the hill, and there's this sedan, a four-door sedan in the middle of the road, sideways, and it's got this guy. I just remember he had like a beard, and he was kind of looked raggedy, and he was pushing his car. Okay, now mind you, pushing your car is not a big deal. Two problems: pushing it sideways, and he was pushing it uphill. So my brother and I pull up. He's literally starting to get it to go up the hill by himself. We pull up, and we're trying to be nice. We just want to know if he needed help. So we get up right behind him, which was, my brother was driving. Not a great move on my brother's part. Pull up behind him. Well, as soon as he sees us, he must have freaked out, because he sees us and he slowly loses his grip. He was pushing by the driver's side door. Slowly loses his grip and his footing, and the car starts rolling back towards him. Okay, so it's rolling towards him, and he slips, falls under the door, and barely missed getting run over by the front tire by about a foot or two. Well, needless to say, we get up, we're like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" He is stoned to the bejesus. He's either drunk or he's on something. This guy is gone. And so another car pulls up, sees us, and we didn't have cell phones, guys. In fact, I think they were bag phones back then. But they went to the nearest convenience station and called the police, and he got hauled off to jail. So we're just lucky that he didn't get hurt more than he could have with that car rolling back on him. So anyway, here's the next story. This story is about me in high school, and we lived in a pretty affluent area at the time, and we were poor back. I say we were poor. We were poor for that area. My dad actually got a really good job teaching fiber optics in Lisle, which is another nearby city. So in the school, it was not uncommon for kids to have their own vehicles. And, you know, this was in the early 90s. And one of the really rich kids in school had a Dodge LeBaron. Now, I don't know if you guys know what this is, but it was a pretty cool car at the time. And it was a red convertible Dodge LeBaron. So I show up to school one day, and they're like, "Did you hear what happened to Jason?" I'm like, "No, what happened?" And they're like, "Yeah, you know his Dodge LeBaron." And I said, "Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty cool ride, convertible." And they said, "Well, he left from a party the other night, or last night, and didn't make it home." Well, we had this really windy road about a mile from our house, and it winded through this neighborhood, and it kind of, you know, it was a real nice neighborhood, had decorative ponds and landscaping and such on the sides, and what had happened is he was drunk, lost control of his vehicle. Now, mind you, this could have turned out a lot worse than it actually did. I mean, it did turn out bad, so, but it could have been worse. So he's driving his vehicle, doing about 95 miles an hour is what they estimate. Jumps the median, and these are pretty big medians, about 6 inches, jumps the median, goes across the median, threads 2 trees, landscape trees, heads towards what, and we know this because you could see all the tire marks. We went back and looked at it. Heads towards what is a utility box, like a electrical junction box, misses that by a few feet, heads through someone's fence, misses the swing set. Well, guess what he did hit? He hit the house. His car, and I tried to Google it to see if I could find a picture of it in the Naperville Sun, but his car went through the house and was parked in the back of the kitchen. Well, like the breakfast area kitchen. And can you imagine being in bed and hearing a car crash into your kitchen / breakfast area? So anyway, he went to jail, and it was not a good deal. And please don't drink and drive, guys. And if you decide to drink, find somebody to drive for you. It just does not mix. So hey, one other quick little story. This is more about cars. I don't know if you guys do this. I don't know if it's done anymore, but we did. It was kind of for fun. It did not involve alcohol. It was called Chinese fire drills. And we did this in kind of high school mostly. But what it involved is everybody, we'd pull up to a stop sign, or I'm sorry, stop light, and we'd wait for the light to turn red. The light turns red. Everybody, actually, it's pretty random. It's not totally planned. So what happens is someone in the car yells, "Chinese fire drill." Okay, so when that happens, and I pulled this picture up on the internet, here you go, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Everybody unbuckles their seatbelts, gets out of the car, and does a complete ring around the rosy around the car, and then jumps back into the car. Okay, so it sounds kind of retarded, but when you see it, or if you see it randomly happen at a stoplight, it is so funny. I mean, it's probably the cleanest amount of fun. Okay, here's the problem. We did this. We just left the bowling alley. It was my brother and I and a couple girls, and we just left the bowling alley, and one of the girls had actually won some tickets, which she cashed in for, I think it was like a decorative pint glass. Well, it was a pint glass. I don't know what was on it. It doesn't really matter. Well, we jump out of the vehicle, go around the car. Everybody's laughing. It's so funny. Everybody's watching us at the stoplight, laughing, honking, pointing at us. We jump back into the car, and Amanda jumps on the pint glass. And needless to say, she went to the emergency room. The pint glass broke. A shard of glass, probably 1.5 inches by 2 inches, broke off and wedged right in her buttocks. And it's horrible. I remember she was wearing white pants or white shorts, but there was blood everywhere from where this shard of glass, it wasn't a shard, I mean it was a chunk of glass, had broken off. But anyway, be careful if you guys decide to do that. It is funny. It's good, clean fun if you guys do it. But anyway, just a little bit more growing up with Stonepost. Going to have some live game feed for you coming up, and probably going to do a little more update. I just uploaded an update on the patch. I might do some Modern Warfare 3 updates too. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't. Give it a thumbs up, and take care as always. This is Stonepost 34.
Enemy contact!